My friend, there's a truth most men over 60 are never told, and that silence is exactly what makes them lose their strength faster than anything else. What makes a man lose his morning signal, lose his firmness when it matters, and lose his confidence when he looks in the mirror, is not that you've become weak, not that your testosterone has disappeared, and certainly not that your time is over. It's because, inside your body, right now, the tiny blood vessels that feed your penis are quietly breaking down earlier than almost any other part of your body. That's why one day you can still perform fairly well, and the very next day, the signal suddenly goes dark, as if your body has forgotten how to respond. If you've ever stood in the bathroom, looking at your body and asking yourself, "What happened to me?" Or if you've ever seen that look in your partner's eyes, hopeful at first, and then disappointed and you didn't dare say a word, you are not alone. There are millions of men your age silently going through the exact same thing every day. And here's the shocking part. Many of them are really trying to do the right things. They eat healthier, use olive oil every day, walk more, cut out fried foods, and yet, circulation to the most important area still doesn't improve. It's not because they're doing everything wrong. It's because no one ever told them this. Olive oil by itself cannot open up those tiny blood vessels, unless it's combined with a very specific activation switch. In the next few minutes, I'm going to tell you exactly what that switch is and why it can change everything for a man over 60. But first, I want you to really understand this. Your strength has not disappeared. It's just being blocked, and with the right signal, it can absolutely come back. Before we go deeper, I want to understand you better, your body, your journey, and what you're facing right now. Take a few seconds and leave a short comment below. Just 3 simple things. How old are you? Which state are you watching from? And do you still have your morning signal? Just answer yes or no. I'm not asking this out of curiosity. I'm asking because I read every single comment, every number, every story, so I can know exactly what kind of content men your age truly need. Many of the videos on this channel were created from those comments, from the worries you're carrying, from the questions you haven't felt ready to say out loud yet. Just write one short line. You will not be judged. Here, we're all on the same side. We want to be stronger, healthier, and more confident whether we're 60, 70, or 80. When you leave a comment, you're also helping other men feel less alone on this journey. My friend, it's time we speak honestly about something almost no doctor ever explains clearly. Men do not start aging in their face, their hair, or their muscles. Men start aging in their blood vessels. And the scary part is that this decline happens deep inside, completely silently, without any kind of alarm bell, no pain, no numbness, no sharp sting. Just one day, your body doesn't respond the way it used to. Do you remember that feeling? That morning you woke up and realized your familiar signal just wasn't there? That night you tried to be intimate, but halfway through, the strength faded? Or that moment you stood in front of the mirror and felt like part of your identity as a man was slipping away? That is not because you've become weak. It's not because your body is finished, and it's not because your desire has disappeared. The truth is this. The smallest arteries in your body, especially the ones that feed your penis, are narrowing, stiffening, and losing their ability to open up. Those arteries are incredibly delicate. Just a 5% drop in blood flow can cut your firmness by up to 50%. That's why even small changes in circulation hit you so hard, much faster than in any other part of your body. Worse yet, because it happens slowly, most men never notice it. They just feel more tired, weaker, slower to respond. And then they blame old age. But it's not age. It's circulation, quiet, silent. And no one ever told you about it. And when circulation drops, everything else follows. Your confidence, your sense of connection, your initiative. And finally, the image of the man you've always been proud to be. The good news is this. Circulation can be restored if you know the right key. And to help you understand how that key works, we need to talk about one more powerful truth that most men have never been told in their lifetime. My friend, before we talk about improving circulation, You need to understand a truth that 90% of men over 60 have never had clearly explained to them. Your penis is not a muscle. It is not your manly strength, and it does not reflect your masculinity or your desire. Your penis is actually a vascular organ, and this changes everything about how you understand your body. Most men believe erections depend on testosterone, mindset, desire, or willpower. They think that if it doesn't work like it used to, it means they're less of a man, losing their strength, or past their prime. But the truth is completely different. An erection doesn't happen because of strength. It happens because blood rushes in at the right moment, at the right speed, with the right pressure. Without blood, nothing happens, no matter how much desire you have, how hard you try, or how strong you used to be. And here's the part that shocks almost every man when I tell them. A 5% drop in blood flow equals up to 50% loss of firmness. Just 5%. That's a level of decline you will never notice in your hands, your legs, your heart, or your brain. But it destroys your erection almost instantly. That's why you can walk normally, climb stairs, work hard, feel fine, but when it comes to intimacy, your body responds weakly. Not because you're failing, but because the vessels in the penis are the smallest and most sensitive in your entire body, they decline first. And here's the part that brings relief to so many men. There is nothing wrong with your masculinity. You are not past your prime. You are simply blocked. Yes, blocked, not broken. Pills can push blood temporarily, but pills do not clear blockages. They do not soften stiff arteries. They do not restore your natural nitric oxide production. And they do not fix the root cause. They only create a short-term chemical reaction. And when the effect disappears, your worry comes right back, sometimes even stronger. I've seen many grown men tear up when they finally understand this, not because they're weak, but because they realize none of this was their fault. They simply were never told the truth in a clear, compassionate way. But once you understand that the issue is circulation, not age, not desire, not masculinity, everything suddenly becomes much easier to fix. And now we reach one important question. If circulation is the key, why do so many men use olive oil every day and still see no improvement? What exactly are they missing? The answer lies in a very simple biological mechanism, one almost no one has ever heard of. My friend, for years, millions of men have believed that eating healthy, taking olive oil every day, walking, avoiding fried foods, and adding a few vitamins would be enough to fix circulation. Some even proudly tell their doctors that they've switched to a Mediterranean diet, that they're doing everything right. But then something heartbreaking happens. Circulation is still weak. The morning signal is still gone. The body still doesn't respond. And their confidence keeps slipping away, little by little. I've seen the confused, frustrated look in the eyes of so many men in my clinic. Men who have truly tried their best, but nothing changed, and they don't understand why. Here is the truth. Olive oil helps the heart, the brain, and the joints, but it does almost nothing for the tiny micro vessels that supply the penis when it's used alone. It's like having a great car, but no key to start it. Olive oil supports overall health, but it does not activate the single most important chemical reaction needed for blood vessels to open. The release of nitric oxide, and without nitric oxide, even the healthiest vessel cannot open. If the vessel doesn't open, blood doesn't flow, and if blood doesn't flow, you will never feel your strength come back, no matter how much olive oil you take. This is why so many men your age, even those who eat extremely clean, still feel like they're going backwards, not because they're doing anything wrong, not because they're lazy, but because no one ever told them that olive oil alone cannot trigger vasodilation, it cannot switch on the microcirculation. And this is where frustration begins. You do everything you're told, but your body stays silent. You wait, but nothing changes. Hope turns into confusion. Confusion turns into fear. Fear turns into silence. That's why so many men over 60 withdraw into themselves. They don't talk about it. They don't ask anyone. They don't tell their wives because they fear that disappointed look. And that silence hurts them more than the physical issue itself. But you need to hear this. Your body is not betraying you. You simply need the right activation switch for olive oil to actually work. And that switch, much simpler than you think, is something almost no doctor clearly explains. This is why so many men stay stuck in this loop for years, until they finally discover the real key. And what is that key? It's the one thing that, when combined with olive oil, activates circulation as powerfully as your body once did in your 20 seconds and 30 seconds. We'll talk about that activation switch next. My friend, this is the moment we finally talk about something almost no one ever tells men over 60, even though it can change your circulation in just a few days. Vinegar. I know this sounds almost too simple. Something cheap, familiar, ordinary. How could it possibly help with something millions of men have struggled with for years? But science shows something extremely clear. Inside vinegar is acetic acid, and acetic acid is the very compound that activates the most important biological volcano for older men, nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is the molecule that allows blood vessels to relax, soften, and widen. And when nitric oxide rises, the tiny vessels in the penis, the smallest and easiest to block, begin to open back up, little by little. And when vessels open, blood flows in with stronger pressure. That's the difference between wanting it but your body won't respond and your body finally responding like it used to. But vinegar doesn't stop there. It also lowers the post-meal blood sugar spike that damages your vessel lining, reduces inflammation throughout the body, lowers visceral fat, the type that destroys testosterone fastest, improves gut health, which regulates hormones, energy, and mood, helps your hands and feet feel warmer, your blood pressure steadier, and your mind lighter. And for many men, once their blood vessels start breathing again, their mornings begin to wake up again too. Before I continue, if what I'm sharing is helping you understand your body better, or giving you back even a little bit of the hope you thought you'd lost, tap the like button. That's how YouTube pushes this information to other men who are silently fighting the same battle you are. A small action from you could change another man's entire journey. Now, back to the most important part. Vinegar is the switch, but it's not the whole story, because once a switch turns on, you still need fuel to ignite strong, lasting circulation. And that's where olive oil comes in. Not alone, but together with vinegar. When these two meet inside your bloodstream, the reaction is almost immediate, and I'll explain exactly why in a moment. When vinegar activates your vessels, they begin to open, but only at the starter level, to make the blood truly strong, stable, and forceful enough to reach the smallest arteries in your body. You need a fuel that protects and sustains the reaction. And this is where olive oil becomes the perfect missing piece. Vinegar opens the gate, and olive oil keeps it open by protecting and nourishing the very vessel lining that's just been activated. When they enter your body together, what happens isn't just a nutritional effect, it's a biological reaction that can transform a man's circulation in just a few days. Olive oil delivers monounsaturated fats and powerful antioxidants like an armor that prevents further damage to your arteries and keeps nitric oxide alive longer in your bloodstream. Meanwhile, vinegar keeps sending the signal for those vessels to widen, letting blood surge into areas that have been oxygen-starved for years. And when the two combine, the effect multiplies, not a little, but in a way men can feel inside their own bodies. Many men I've met describe it like something inside them suddenly turning back on. Their feet warm up for the first time in years. Their mind feels clearer. Their breathing feels lighter. Their body feels alive again, a feeling they thought was gone forever. And then, one morning, not because of effort, not because of medication, not because of pressure, their body sends back a signal they'd been waiting for. One man once told me, "Doctor, I thought that feeling had left my life forever. But it came back, gentle, like it never left." When circulation comes back, everything rises with it. Your body, your confidence, your connection with your wife or partner. No more fear of failure. No more hesitation. No more sleepless nights filled with shame. Just a man reclaiming his place in his own life. We've talked about the reasons and the mechanisms. Now it's time for you to learn exactly how to use vinegar plus olive oil in a scientifically correct way. Not randomly, not by trial and error, but precisely the way I guide my patients in the clinic. I'll walk you through it step by step in the next section. My friend, now it's time for us to move from theory to practice, because the power of vinegar and olive oil only ignites when you use them the right way. Use them incorrectly, and nothing happens. Use them correctly, and your body responds so strongly that many men end up saying, "Why didn't anyone tell me this earlier?" This method starts before you eat, not during the meal. About 10 to 15 minutes before your two biggest meals of the day, fill a tall glass with water and add 1 to 2 tablespoons of vinegar, apple cider vinegar or red wine vinegar, both work. Drink it slowly, giving your body time to receive the signal. This isn't a casual habit. It's the moment acetic acid begins sending commands that soften your vessel walls, widen them, and prepare them to function optimally for the next several hours. When you do this consistently, you immediately lower the blood sugar spike after meals, the very spike that silently stiffens and damages the tiny vessels in the penis day after day, year after year. Simply reducing that sugar attack on your vessels gives your endothelium, the delicate inner lining, a chance to recover. It's like giving your blood vessels a breath, a moment to reset, a chance to work again. And then comes the evening, the most important meal in this routine. At least once a day, prepare a simple yet precise salad. Leafy greens, tomatoes, cucumbers, onions, avocado, or any fresh vegetables you like. But the important part is not the vegetables. It's the dressing you add on top. 2 tablespoons of olive oil plus 1 to 2 tablespoons of vinegar. When these two enter your body together, this is the moment when 2 keys open 1 lock. Vinegar continues to activate nitric oxide, widening the vessels even more. Olive oil protects the vessels that have just been activated, slows oxidative damage, keeps nitric oxide alive longer, and lays the foundation for a stronger, more stable blood flow. Many men report that within just a few days, they feel their hands and feet warming up, their breathing lightening, and their body becoming less heavy when standing or climbing stairs. These signs appear before anything else, and they're proof that your vascular system is waking up after a long, silent sleep. And then one morning, when you aren't expecting anything, when you wake up like any normal day, your body sends back a signal you thought had disappeared forever. Not because you tried, not because you worried, but because your body remembered how to operate the way it once did. Naturally, effortlessly. But the most important thing isn't the vinegar. It isn't the salad. It's consistency. Your body needs a daily reminder that it can open vessels, move blood powerfully, and return to a state of health that age cannot touch. When you do this consistently, you don't just change your circulation, you change your quality of life, your energy, your mood, and the connection within your relationship. In the next section, I'll show you what happens when real men, 60, 70, even 80 years old, apply this method, because their results will show you that this change isn't theory, it's reality. But before you continue, there is something I must say very clearly, because misunderstanding even one small detail can lead to damage that cannot be undone. Many men, once they start feeling improvements in their circulation, become impatient. They're afraid to lose progress. They want faster results. And in desperation, they search the internet for shortcuts, rumors, unproven tips, dangerous tricks that have nothing to do with science. One of the most dangerous mistakes I have ever seen in my clinic is this: applying vinegar directly to the penis. I need you to take this seriously. Never under any circumstances do this. The skin on the penis is thinner and more sensitive than almost any other part of the body. The acid in vinegar can cause burns, deep irritation, inflammation, ulcers, and permanent scarring. I've treated men who came in terrified, in pain, panicking, regretting a single impulsive decision they made just because they wanted to feel like themselves again. They weren't weak. They were desperate to heal. But healing never comes from impatience. It comes from restoring circulation from the inside, where the real mechanism lives. There are no safe shortcuts. No topical trick can replace the internal process of reopening blood vessels. Avoiding this mistake alone protects you from a kind of damage no man deserves to experience. And now, in the final section, I will share with you the most important message, one that may completely change the way you think about age, strength, and the future of your own body. My friend, if you've made it this far, it tells me something very important. You are not the kind of man who gives up. You are not the man who watches his body slow down and says, "That's just fate." You are the man who wants to understand, who wants to change, and who wants to reclaim what once belonged to him. And I want you to remember this deeply. Your body is not done. Your circulation can reopen. Your strength can return. Even at 60, 70, or 80. What we talked about today isn't magic. It isn't a trick. It isn't some empty promise. It's biology, the way a man's body is designed to work from the inside out. When nitric oxide rises, when your blood vessels soften again, when olive oil and vinegar are used the right way, you're not just improving a physical response. You are reclaiming your identity as a man, reclaiming your confidence, reclaiming your connection, reclaiming a part of yourself you thought had slipped into the past. But the most important thing will always be your willingness to take action. Not me, not this video. You decide the direction your body goes from this day forward. So I want to hear from you. Which step will you begin with? The vinegar and water before meals? Or the olive oil salad each evening? Leave a comment below. I read every single one, and I use them to create the next videos tailored specifically for you. And if this message touched you, share it with another man, because he may need hope more than you realize. I'm Dr. Emily Carter, and I believe the strongest chapter of your life is still ahead of you.